Hey y'all, it's Miranda. Welcome back. Okay, this video is my most anticipated video yet that I've been wanting to make for a very long time. This poor little art's gonna keep wiggling. That's okay though. The project I want to talk about is one that I did when I was way back in college, long ago. I believe it was junior year when I did it, a part of one of my drawing classes. And it actually even goes further back than that. I took a course in Mesoamerican art history, and it was by far my favorite course in art history that I had to take during college ever. And when I took this art history course on Mesoamerica, I instantly fell in love and felt connected and inspired. The gods, the goddesses, to the religions, the language that they spoke, the people themselves, the rituals, everything. And I was especially inspired and in awe of the Templo Mayor, or the Great Aztec Temple. And one day I would love to travel and go see all of these sites and locations that I've gotten to learn about. Just everything about the culture gravitated towards my heart, my mind, everything. I got into just talking with my family, my grandmother, about our culture, where we come from, and finding out that we are very much from the Aztec culture. And even before she told me that, I just knew. I had that feeling in my heart, and just seeing everything and learning from my instructor, who is Mexicana. She taught me everything about it, and I was so willing and aced that class because I just was in it. I read everything I could. I went to the library and spent many hours just studying and researching and just finding out as much as I possibly could about this amazing culture that I am very blessed and very honored and proud to be a part of. So after taking that course, I was obviously still so inspired and so passionate about finding all these great, amazing elements to my culture. I wanted to show my respects, and I wanted to show my own personal outlook and connection with this culture. So when it came time to take this drawing course in junior year, I had to incorporate the goddesses and the religious part of what this culture is really about. And the Aztecs themselves had a pantheon of gods that they worshipped, gods and goddesses. There are over 200 plus of them. And it's amazing. It's really quite incredible that they had so many of these entities, these figures, these idols that they worshipped and honored and took inspiration from and leadership from. It's really inspiring to me. I'm not particularly a religious person, but just getting to know this culture and realizing how connected I am to it, and then hearing about their religious outlooks and their beliefs, really was inspiring for me, and I definitely can connect with that in a lot of special ways. There was one particular goddess that I really connected with, and when I found her, I knew that that was the one that I wanted to really delve myself into and learn the most about. And this particular goddess's name is Xochiquetzal. And please excuse my mispronouncing. I may say things a little bit different. I have a lisp, obviously. Everyone knows, and a hearing impairment, so it's hard for me at times to hear Spanish, first of all, let alone the Aztec language. So bear with me. I will continue to try and say her name correctly. I practice it all the time. It's just part of my pronunciation that is the problem. Xochiquetzal, she was something that I discovered and just immediately wanted to become this idol. I was so inspired by her, very much so like all of the pop stars and the musical artists that I've grown up with. She kind of stays up there with that, like in terms of just someone who I look up to in a lot of ways, similar to Lady Gaga. And before I really get into exactly how I connected myself with this culture, with this religion, and this particular goddess, Xochiquetzal, I want to talk about just her in general, first of all, just to kind of give you an insight on who she really was and what she represented and why I love her so much. Xochiquetzal, first of all, means precious flower, in a translation, loosely a translation to English, which obviously I adore. I love anything to do with flowers. I work with flowers every day, and I'm inspired by them every day too. So that was really amazing to hear that translation from her name is precious flower. She is the goddess of flowers. She really just represents full centered femininity within yourself and letting that come out. And really, she's the goddess of many things, many amazing, beautiful things. Beauty itself, sexual love, household arts. She actually watches over artists as they're creating their art, which is amazing. I like to think that she is watching over me whenever I do my art, especially when I was doing this in college at the time. And she's also the goddess of plants. Fertility, motherhood, sexuality, everything, love. She's very similar to me to Venus or Aphrodite, and I love that. I'm already such a big fan of both of those goddesses, so this was definitely the next goddess that I wanted on my list of just my girls, my women that I adore and look up to and really connect with the most. So, and mind you, I did my research again, so that's why I'm looking down a little bit. I'm reading through my notes because there's just so much to her and so much to this culture that I want to respectfully and proudly talk about. The first thing that I created to show my own personal homage to this culture and religion was doing the Sunday calendar and showing the entire cycle of the Tonalpohualli. I took this piece of wood that I had found and I burned it with like the little fancy tool burner, and I spent that whole time doing the pattern work and burning at everything to make the symbols, putting all of the different signs in, from the sun god to the middle, everything. I wanted to reimagine and make my own homage to the Sunday calendar myself and the Tonalpohualli day count as well. So it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, symbolic, just pattern and geometric, symmetrical design. I connect with it so much. One day I'd love to go see the actual one in person. One day. There's something so ethereal about it, obviously something very spiritual about it, and when I first saw it, I just knew I needed to recreate it myself and just get to know the patterns and all of the symbols and signs that reside within it as a whole. So definitely enjoyed doing that. It took me a long time. Remember, I was sitting there just burning at every detail. And here, I might actually just show you guys so you can really see just how detailed it is. And I'll include a picture, a really nice still life picture. But also I just want you guys to see just how much detail I put and how much time I took to really just respectfully put this, together. It's a nice wood piece I found, traditional, just, untouched natural wood. And yeah, it shines, it's gorgeous, and I adore this piece so much. It's, when I think back being in college and partying a lot and, all that stuff, I really told myself, you're going to take the time to respectfully do this project. Not that I didn't respectfully do a lot of my art projects in school, but, being a college girl, being in a relationship, having lots of friends and going to parties every weekend, sometimes my art would take a little bit of, sometimes that would take up a lot of my time when I could just be spending it on my craft. So definitely with this project though, with all of the pieces I will show you, I wanted to take my time and really engulf myself into just how much effort and detail I can put into this project, especially this piece, because it is really just the calendar itself. There's nothing I've adapted other than maybe a couple different pattern works and my own personal accents, but overall it's the sun, sun god and Sunday calendar, Tonalpohualli day count. So definitely wanted to take my time, and definitely a really great memory when I look at it. I remember I spent all night long doing this, and I was sitting over it, burning every detail. And of course, when you're burning with wood, it's all that smoke. And when I got done with it and I looked in the mirror in my restroom, my eyes were bloodshot red just from all the smoke getting in my eyes, because I was like in it, just like doing every little detail. So I would say that's definitely one of my all-time favorite art pieces. That is something other than just canvas, paint on canvas, and something like pen on paper. This is something that is very unique, and I realized I had a passion and talent for wood burning. Very passionate about my wood burnings when I do them, for sure. So the next set of things that I wanted to incorporate was actually a piece that fell apart, I would say about 2 years ago. Again, this project is, I would say this project overall is about 6 years old. So a lot of these pieces have been around obviously for a while, and one of them that actually starts on the outside of this one that I had displayed on the wall, and I'll show another picture of that when it was completed during school, shows all of the different signs within the Tonalpohualli day count. Each day has that corresponding sign, the skull. We have like the serpent, the house, the flower, of course, the flower day sign. And when I wanted to begin the one on the outside, I wanted to incorporate those day signs. So I gathered all of my friends and best friends and family members' birthdays, and I wanted to put their personal birthdays and their personal day signs that I incorporate with their day count within this. That one's really special. I wish it was still together. It just fell apart. It was all completely made out of the paper mache kind of color papers that I collected, and also got inspired from another class called Color Studies 101. And that one, we did a lot of those kind of paper blocking and kind of creating through paper mache like that. So also incorporated that project into that as well. I'm happy I have pictures of it because, again, it's very special to me and very emotionally attached, because, you know, my family, we come from this culture, and I wanted to incorporate them in it as well. And so the next one, outside of that, I do have those pieces here. I wanted to display each goddess and god with a designated day sign as well. So each one of these has, you know, their own little flip thing. It's just some nice cardstock paper, and I will show another picture of that as well. And that one came out just along outside of that as a third layer. And I displayed them all across for my critiques during school whenever I was presenting this project when it was completed. So for example, that god, goddess, that day sign as well. And I have a whole ton of them. This one as well, this particular part of the project took me all night long. I love this one, of course. I love the skull. And I just to let you see up close, just like how amazing that watercolor was able to blend and stay really just like smooth and perfect. I love this one so much, the cheetah god. I love it. It's just like, even though I stayed up all night long and I was all by myself and just felt like, man, am I just doing too much with this project? But no, I was like, I'm so happy to do this. Doing all the details and the colors. I was using what's called cake watercolor. It has a very nice, smooth, kind of creamy consistency when you put the water in just right. So, and this particular paper is cold press. Cold press has more of like that thicker texture, and it soaks up a lot more, versus hot press, which is more of like a really smooth watercolor. So with the cold press, I was able to really let that watercolor just soak in and stay really even and gorgeous. Love the lizard. Love that. Oh gosh, okay, this one I love. The god of death, I believe this one was. I adore it. The detail, the colors, the shape, the god himself. Oh my gosh, I just love it. Yeah, took me all night long, and it was worth it completely. Totally worth it. Totally. I felt so accomplished once it was done. And then of course, Xochiquetzal herself and the Dayflower sign, my personal birthday Dayflower sign. What are the odds? Love it. Of course. Oh, I love the maroon color on this god right here. And oh, I love it. I adore it. I really do. Everything about doing watercolors like this just really inspires me and keeps me motivated to just do the coloring and just love what I'm doing, love the craft. Oh, this one took me the longest. I think this is exactly why I didn't even get like 4 hours of sleep, because I spent 4 hours just doing that. Just doing the drawing itself and the painting and the color detail. Oh, I love it. I love it. So, oh, this one as well. This one also took me just as long, just like 4 hours or so, non-stop, the drag, everything about it. Just like, oh, I just love it. I could go on and just show you guys every single one of these. Like, so again, I displayed these all around on the third layer and had that as a whole presentation when I did my final critique on this project for my course, for my drawing course. And yeah, definitely a big challenge for my drawing skill set, my drawing patience, and then obviously color scheme, culture, religion, really going in depth on each god and what they represent, and finding out each different day sign, you know, colors, what they use for their own coloring. Obviously they didn't have cake watercolors. They used fruits, berries, you know, things like that. Different types of materials that they found all around them, they used to make just as vibrant pieces and colors like this. So I almost actually was motivated and inspired to do fruit and, you know, veggies and different natural supplies to paint these, but since those cake watercolors were so vibrant and just creamy, I had to use them for this. So it ended up working out perfectly, and when I wrote my thesis, I still put down, you know, that they used different materials and how inspiring that was for me. Maybe one day I will revisit this and do another detailed, you know, version of all the gods and goddesses and do them in actual berries and such. So I keep that on lock and put that in the back and revisit that for sure. I would say alongside it, I also did have this really special kind of pop-up version of all the day signs. These are a part of something that I want to do for my drawing portion and really show the skill set that I can put into just doing really geometric, symmetrical, almost kaleidoscope kind of effect drawing pieces. So of course I'm really inspired by the flower day sign, but from there I wanted to show all of my own personal creations of what I would consider my own personal day sign flowers. And honestly, I should probably be showing it to you this way. So even though I did do it, you know, this first one, the traditional flower day sign, I wanted to do them like the traditional codexes and do it all displayed like they did their own personal storyboarding, and show the different codex styles like so. So that one is really special. I had that one hung up like this though for my presentation alongside this part of the project as well. And yeah, I had a blast just coming up with my own versions of, you know, flower day signs, flower patterns. I like that one a lot. And you can see I actually didn't use cake watercolors this time. I used markers, really nice vibrant markers on now hot press watercolor paper. So this particular paper isn't like the rough kind of like open exposure paper, it's hot pressed, so it was really pushed down and flattened really nice. So it was perfect for the markers to glide along the paper, and just like really has, I mean, there's a little bit of like the marker marks, you know, but not as much as a traditional piece of paper with traditional pens or markers. So I really loved that. That was like so satisfying, almost like, it was almost like drawing with ink butter or something is how I can describe it. So love that one too. That one didn't take me too long. That one was actually just kind of came right out as I did it, and really relaxing, really therapeutic, and yeah, I loved it. And if I'm remembering correctly, I remember part of the project, I think my teacher asked us to incorporate ourselves, our own individual outlook into these projects, into what we're drawing and what we're representing. So because I was so inspired by Xochiquetzal, I wanted to put myself as her. I wanted to actually show, of course through the codex style, I wanted to show my own personal journey into discovering just how powerful my own personal femininity is, my own personal love, joy, flower passion, plant passion, love, sexuality, things like that. Like for example, starting off this codex, I wanted to show my own self kind of growing as a flower in a pot through my own journey. And you can see my footsteps here. I'm kind of, you know, walking through the journey and growing a lot, you know, budding in my own ways, and then kind of, you know, ending here, but still having a whole journey left to go. So the next part being my own footsteps with different types of, my own different types of, you know, journeys through footstepping and walking along into, you know, my final outlook, I should say, on this journey. And then I start to actually show, you know, myself. And believe it or not, I mean, I'm sure you can tell that these selfies are of me, of myself when I was blonde, brunette, things like that. But I was holding my cell phone in these like mirror selfies, but I turned them into goddess flowers. My birthday lands on the day sign flowers. So I have the, you know, my birthday with my designated count as well. And every one of these has that. This one has it there too. I'm blooming through in that one as well. And I just kind of have all these different, I love the eyes, all these different types of symbols that are either inspired from the culture itself already or my own personal symbols, very much like the little slideshow one I showed you guys a moment ago. So I have those all around. Like a traditional codex, everything is going along a journey, and I kind of finished the journey off with a final portrait of myself, kind of with a really confident pose, and my birthday day sign with my birthday count. And that's like one of the original ones that I did. I have one other one that I don't have here, that I'll show a picture of right here on the screen too, as a nice still life, is me kind of in really empowering artists like Cher, Lady Gaga, me kind of going through my own personal journey with my appearance and my hair. It was very important to me. At the time, I was experimenting a lot with being a platinum blonde, and also just like a dirty blonde to having my roots out, just going through a lot of different, trying to find my own personal look. And also, actually, the majority of the time I was a redhead. So I was doing like a really deep red to vibrant fire truck red. So very similar to my lipstick, but it was all my hair. So that was interesting to do for a long time. And actually, this little mini version of a codex, similar to my bigger one, I have those displays of me with that darkish reddish hair, kind of like an amber, kind of like an umber kind of color. And this one shows me and my little Louie, my little puppy dog Louie, with of course my, birthday sign with my birthday count, all the different day signs represented. Here's the other side as well, just kind of some, these are my graduation photos when I did a photo shoot for when I was graduating college. So I kind of had my crown, just displayed and trying to show my own confident side and my representation with feeling like a goddess. And this particular one right here, ending everything, I wanted to represent and show how much I've learned about this culture and how much I've learned about myself as an individual. Someone who isn't one particular thing, I felt like I wanted to really take honor and pride in being a part of a lot of different cultures. And with that, I wanted to show a completed piece. I believe I would say that this is kind of like, for me, I see this as like a flowering tree, a blossom tree, but in it, I wanted to show on the sides all of the different aspects to it. So how it breaks down and what makes this one thing whole. There's so many parts to ourselves that make us beautiful, and there's so many parts to ourselves that come together and make us a whole. We wouldn't be who we are without all the different parts to ourselves, and every one of those parts is important and beautiful, and embracing that and being proud of those parts of ourselves that maybe we aren't so much of, but still loving that and still embracing it and being proud and presenting yourself with that honor and just being confident and loving yourself. Really, honestly, it's just about loving yourself. And that's kind of what I was trying to accomplish with this whole project as a whole, but that really being the last set of display, that last codex storyline where I'm really just saying, hey, these are all the elements to me that I am adorned with and I love and I'm proud of, and that's exactly what makes me what I am as a whole. So and that's everything that I really have in terms of the art itself that I created for this project. The drawing aspects, the painting aspects, the sculpting aspects. But I do have a couple other pieces to this project that I wasn't able to bring back here to Plano from home in Arkansas. But I will show them in their still life form here. They were permanently documented, thank goodness. So I can hold on to those. But a lot of them were just, obviously same kind of deal. Just me presenting myself in statures and figures of feeling like a confident, proud goddess of this culture that I just come to adorn and love and embrace for sure. The last element to this project that I want to share, and when I looked at it, I just sparked 1,000,001 memories from this particular part of the project. So this is my flower goddess outfit. This is exactly what I wanted to wear and embrace myself as the flower goddess. All of these flowers I personally went and got and cut them up from their stems, and I applied them to this Target swimsuit. You can kind of see it's a swimsuit. I also applied this little light source that is all throughout the entire suit. And actually this right here with the day sign calendar is the flower crown that I, put with it as well, that I would wear. And I will include lots of pictures of me posing when I first finished this particular part of the project. I was very confident. I was feeling it 110%. That was the whole point of the project, was to actually become and feel the power that I wanted to give myself, and how much the goddesses just give themselves that power. If I'm going to represent everything that is a part of this culture and engulf myself, I'm going to engulf myself literally. I'm going to physically embrace myself as my own personal, powerful, feminine, loving person. My own loving goddess, I should say, because the goddesses are not just people. They are entities, they are idols, they are ethereal, out of this world, underworld kind of powerful beings, I would say. And the Aztecs, they actually said, when you dress as a god or a goddess, you actually literally become that god or goddess. You are that god. You are that goddess. That is who you become. It's as powerful as that. And that's exactly what I wanted to accomplish with this, doing the outfits, doing the project, putting myself in these symbolic positions and situations. I felt that. I really felt it. And I feel like I gave myself that power, that connection to this goddess, and to myself as my own personal goddess, if you will. And it just so happened to work out because while I was making this project, like I said before, I had a lot of different friends and went to a lot of different parties and such during college. And there was an ABC party, anything but clothes party, and this was the perfect outfit to wear. And because I wore this with my best friend, because she invited me to that party, I won the contest for it. And I was really happy, and I feel like everyone was like, oh my gosh, girl, you just showed up in this whole like entire outfit that you handmade. But it's because I'm an artist and I was already doing it for a project, so it just worked out. So with that story, I guess I'm just trying to say that when you really just put yourself and engulf yourself into that culture of your own, especially when it's a minority indigenous culture, you take on all this power, all this internal power that comes into you and then externally presents itself and projects, and everything kind of, you become kind of a magnet to everything around you. That's how I felt. I felt like I was becoming this magnetic force in my relationship at the time, with my friends and family, everything around me, myself as well, because I wasn't as confident before I did this project. It just really helped me internally. And because I'm a third generation Mexicana Latina, I have a hard time connecting with my culture at times because I am very American, and that's great, but it's something that I always long to connect with. I've only ever been to Mexico once before, and I have yet to meet the family that is a part of my lineage that lives in Mexico, because we just haven't, found them or connected with them just yet. So this was really important for me. I don't want to get emotional, but this helped me so much personally, finding myself and who I really am and where I really come from, and talking with my abuela and my mom about who we are. Obviously, like I've said before, I feel like a very lost person most of the time, and when I'm not feeling confident and when I'm not feeling like I know who I am and what I'm gonna be, realizing my family and where we come from and our culture is all there, and I snap into that. Oh, I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what I'm here for. I know who I am. I know what I hold. I know the power that I withhold, and that's a really beautiful thing. And I know no matter what, I feel like there's a lot that I am vulnerable to. No one can take that away from me. No one can take this away from me. I was really inspired by this particular look that I'll show right here, that I just saw it, I think, on Tumblr years ago. I think around when I was doing this project, and I just fell head over heels for it. I wanted to do it so bad, but I was just not confident enough yet in my makeup skills, and I didn't have the right materials and such, so I kept it all those years, and I finally thought, okay, this is the perfect time to do it. I'm wearing my folklorica as well that my mother got me, traditional dress, and it's actually from Mexico. So I love it so much. I'm happy I got to actually wear it. And of course, everything that I'm wearing is from my grandma and my mom, which is really special because they give me all of the feminine power and the belonging that I feel, because I come from those beautiful women, and they adorn me with all of these amazing items that I connect with so much because they're connected to them and they connect with me. So So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm so happy to have shared everything and just gotten into all of this again. It's been about 6 years since I've even really seen these art pieces and talked about this project, or even, looked into it again and reconnected with it. So I'm really, really happy because I work with flowers every day, and because I did this project on a flower goddess and feeling very connected to flowers, plants, life, everything around me that grows and takes time and develops and is all a part of the world from the ground up. I wanted to have a translation of my favorite quote right now, which is a very cliche traditional quote, but again, like I said, it's something that I'm staying with, and I just try to always remember to do this. And that particular quote being Parar y Oler las Rosas, which literally means stop and smell the roses. I always try to remind myself, literally, figuratively, internally, to just stop, relax, and breathe, and just smell the beauty around you, be the beauty around you, smell the literal roses, or just see the good parts in life and the world and myself and the journey that I'm still going through to this day. Even 6 years later, especially 6 years later, so much has changed since that time that I have to keep reminding myself to parar y oler las rosas. And with Valentine's Day coming up, there's nothing better than getting to know the goddess of love, the goddess of flowers, and the goddess of just femininity and beauty. It's the perfect holiday for me to kind of share all of this with y'all. Still being a single lady, trying to figure out her own self and her own sexuality and love and beauty internally and outwards with others. It's just the perfect project that I could have shared, and I've been wanting to do it for a really long time, and just to have it out and to have my, just to feel like I'm representing my culture the perfect way and just being proud of who I am and where I come from, it all just worked out perfectly. So thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully it comes soon. Hopefully I'll be able to get it done soon so I can get that out for y'all too and share my next project that will be brand new. So stay tuned and subscribe, like, and yeah. Is that what YouTubers do? They say subscribe and like and comment, I guess. So yeah, maybe do that if you want. You don't have to. Okay, bye. I'm gonna go. Adios. Every time. Every time I'm gonna do this and just laugh and giggle at myself and just realize how ridiculous I feel all the time. Is that the right way I want to say that? Probably not. Is this how I really want to talk? Probably not. Help. It's so dark now. I look blue. I went from being orange to blue. Like, there's a puppy outside. He's so pretty. There's a little puppy. Hello. I look stupid. Oh. Why did you go all the way up? It kind of looks good, but like, why? Oh my gosh, I have such lidded eyes. I mean, oh my goodness, the makeup has completely gone up all the way up my eye. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's time to take it off. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, that was fun. That was so much fun. Okay, I'm done. Bye.